Better get out of this place as soon as possible. I don't allow any bun burying here. Mary! Order the carriage at once. Mr. Moncrief has suddenly been called back to town.
Yes, sir.
I have not been called back to town at all.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasures in the smallest degree. Cecily, the darling.
You are not to talk of Miss Purdue like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. It is perfectly childish to be in deep mourning for a man who is standing right in front of you.
I demand that you leave this instant.
I certainly won't leave so long as you're in mourning.
Will you leave if I change my clothes?
Yes, if you're not too long. I never saw anyone take so long to dress with such little result.
Well, at any rate, that is much better than always being overdressed as you are.
If I am occasionally a little overdressed, I make up for it by being always immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct and outrage in your presence here in my garden are utterly absurd. However, you've got to catch the 4-5, and I hope that you'll have a pleasant journey back to town. This bun burying, you call it, has not been a great success for you, right? Mary, the carriage!
Oh, I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
No, he's going to send me away.
Then have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. It is a very painful parting.
The carriage is waiting, sir.
It can wait, Merryman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Cecily, I hope I do not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you appear to me to be the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you'll allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
You really keep a diary. I'd give anything to look at it, may I?
Oh, no. It is private and only meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you'll order a copy. Pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on. I'm quite ready for more.
Cecily, ever since I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think that you should tell me that you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
The carriage is waiting, sir.
Tell it to come round next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
You will marry me, won't you?
Of course. Why, we've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it'll be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And of course, a man who's much talked about is always very attractive. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling. And when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last, worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or the other. And after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree here. It's always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Earnest. There's something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Earnest.
But, my darling, you don't mean to say you could not love me if I had some other name, like Algernon, for instance.
I don't like the name of Algernon.
Well, my dear sweet little darling, I really can't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. If I were called Algie, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character, but I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
I must see my brother John at once to speak about this most important business.
Considering we've been engaged since February the 14th and I'm only meeting you today for the first time, I find it rather difficult that you should leave me.
I'll be back in no time.